Afghanistan is generally a mountainous territory, which is at the intersection of three major cultural areas: the Indian, the Iranian, and the Central Asian Turkic. And peoples with those kind of cultural and linguistic heritage are all found in Afghanistan. At one time, when land trade was the main driver of the international economy, because blue water navigation, that is navigation even in bad weather, had not yet been invented. Afghanistan was also a crossroads of trade routes and so on, and also of conquerors as well. So the idea that Afghanistan is a country that can never be conquered is empirically untrue. After the development of long-distance blue water shipping, initially by the Portuguese and then by other European powers, most of the international long-distance trade shifted to that, and the European powers also gained control of the trade routes, and that's when Afghanistan started to be more isolated. Generally at that time, it wasn't, when I say Afghanistan, I'm referring to the territory of today's Afghanistan. There was no country or state called Afghanistan at that time. Maybe the term was used, but it meant the place where the Afghans lived. And at that time, Afghans meant Pashtun, people of certain members of a certain ethnic group. And that did not coincide with the territory of today's Afghanistan. So before the founding of the first Afghan or Pashtun Empire in 1747, the country was divided up among the three great empires of the region. The Mughal Empire in India, the Safavid Empire in Iran, and the Shaybanid Empire in Central Asia. And just to add to that, the Safavid Empire was militantly Shia, and Afghans or Pashtuns are very militantly Sunni. So that was a source of conflict from time to time. So in the middle 18th century, also possibly for long-term reasons having to do with the international economy, like the loss of revenue from trade routes, all of those three empires foundered, and an Afghan, Ahmad Shah Abdali, who had been head of the military forces of Nader Shah Afshar, who had come to power in Persia, took a lot of those treasures back to Kandahar, assembled the tribes, got himself named king, and then he started conquering other territories and established an empire for himself. Now that empire was not the same as the Afghan state we see today, but over the decades that it existed, it started gaining some of the quality characteristics we see of Afghanistan of today, or at least of the Afghan in the past century or so, Afghanistan in the past century or so. The top leadership was Pashtun from certain Kandahari tribes. His military was ethnically mixed. The bureaucracy was largely Persian-speaking. Ahmad Shah Abdali made it, or Durrani as he came to be known, made his capital originally in his hometown of Kandahar. But being in Kandahar, he was surrounded by all the Kandahari tribes, and it was very difficult for the king to exercise independence of the tribes. And as you know, for any monarch of this sort, getting independence from the nobles who supply him with soldiers is very important. Therefore, his grandson moved the capital to Kabul in 1775. And having a capital in Kabul is also characteristic of today's Afghan state.